ESPN said, what? We are breaking down some of the top 60 diva rankings early from ESPN, assuming we'll get through as many as we can. Adam, how are you doing today?
Man, we are doing wonderful. It is officially NFL draft week amongst us.
Whoop, whoop. What's
How
Green
you
Bay
doing?
taking? What's Green Bay taking?
Probably quarterback, right? What do you think they got?
I have no idea. I want, somebody good.
I,
Love,
I think a tackle and a DB makes the most sense to me.
maybe.
Offensive tackle and a DB. And then, first
Offensive
round.
tackle. That's not very sexy. We want something sexy. We got a pretty good offensive line right now.
I know, but I want to back up because we always lose one or two throughout the year.
All right, folks, let's jump in. The ESPN top 60 divas are out. So we are just going to cruise through them, give you our initial reactions because we can. Puka Nakua, number one. Adam, I mean, I can't argue this. I wouldn't draft him number one personally, but I certainly wouldn't fault anybody for doing it.
Yeah, I mean, for in terms of Divas, definitely number one off the board, and he stayed healthy last year. That was the biggest difference. His first year or two, he kind of had some issues with injuries, but when he is fully healthy and out there, he is the best wide receiver in the game, and it's amazing what that man can do.
Number two, Jamar Chase. I think I would probably be taking Chase first off the board if I'm taking a receiver personally. Bit of a slack last year, but Joe Burrow did miss 9 games and he still finished as Diva 4. So this guy is a top 5 finisher basically every single year. So to me, I kind of like him as the wide receiver 1 still.
You know what's most interesting about these two is these two probably have two of the best counterpart wide receivers in the game with Devontae Adams and Jamar Chase's buddy over there, which is very interesting that they can create that much production and still be the
Yeah.
best top two wide receivers in the game. Very interesting.
Yeah, I still think Chase is the best personally.
Yeah.
I get it for Puka. I just his touchdown upside I think is limited to me.
Yeah. All right.
Number three, JSN. You made a bet on him last year on his over 150
Woo-wee.
targets, and he pulled it off.
Yes, he did.
Finished
Yes,
as
he
Diva
did.
2 right behind Puka Nakua. I just can't double down on this, but I don't fault anybody else for doing it.
Yeah, we are now buying high and selling high. But the biggest thing and the biggest point that we got, and I can make that prediction, was he lost DK Metcalf and he lost Cooper Kupp. It was like 200 plus targets that were vacated from that offense with no real replacement for him. So if you guys see that, if you have one or two wide receivers leaving your team, there's a couple hundred targets, there's going to be some serious propped up value in the remaining players.
Would you take him as wide receiver 3 off the board?
I think that's a fair spot for him. I think right now we are in line with how I would do it, but it will change very soon.
Again, it's a little overpriced, but I get it.
Yeah.
Amon Ra coming in at number 4 here. I mean, this guy just kind of does it year in and year out. Very Mr. Consistent, I would say. Finished as wide receiver 3. Um, it, I can't bet against the guy.
It's funny you say that because that's exactly what I'm going to do. Not in terms of like him not being a great receiver because he is, but because of the Jameson Williams behind them. When this guy was injured, he popped off. Jameson is a lot faster. This guy's getting a year older. Sure, he's going to be a top 10 wide receiver, but I just don't like him at 4 when I think Jameson Williams is going to continue to blast on the scene here.
He's still only 26 years old, and maybe there is more big plays for JMO next year. But
Yeah.
I still, for PPR, I still love him on Raw. I do have him in Dynasty, though, so I usually spread my risk around a little bit, so I won't have him as
Yeah.
much for redraft.
Yeah.
Next up, number 5, CeeDee Lamb. Last year did miss some games with injury, still did go over 1,000 yards, missed 3 games, and he has the partner next to him now, Georgie P, who is a very dominant diva too. So for me, I'm a little bit lower on CD because of basically Pickens' presence. Still an elite receiver. They got him at 5. How do you feel about that?
Well, I'll tell you what I feel about a wide receiver that's going at 5 that had the most drops in the NFL with 8 drops last year. That is unacceptable. That in itself will take away any top 5 like value I'm going to give someone. If you're a professional wide receiver and you can't catch the football, you're not going to be on my fantasy team. And I know he's amazing, but he's also getting older, and we saw what Pickens can do there. Too high for me on CD here.
Yeah, I'm in a similar camp, but just a little too high for this. Mostly because of George P. Number 6, Drake London. The ESPN has projected Drake London up high right now.
Yeah.
He has never finished this high. They got him at wide receiver 6.
Based
Let,
based on
let, What's that?
Based on talent, I think this is right on the money. Where it's not right on the money is we have a huge fat question mark at the quarterback
Yeah,
position
who's
right
throwing
now.
the ball?
Tua or Penix, one of the two. Neither one's elite. Neither one's proven to be elite. That is, I think, the biggest issue for this Drake London at number 6 here. However, he is amazing, and he's got the size, the speed, the hands to do it and to be placed here.
Yeah, it looks like he missed about 6 games last year and finished as wide receiver 19. So on a per game basis, he's around top 15. And they got him all the way up to 6 right now. So I think this is very overpriced, ESPN. Calling
Yeah.
you out on this one. Next up, Rashee Rice coming in at 7. And I've loved this player for being undervalued the last few years. And now he is overvalued, in my opinion. Wide receiver 7 is a huge jump for this guy. What's your take on this?
Yeah, I mean, they're thinking he's got a full year in front of him, but we know there's other young guys there. We haven't seen a Chiefs wide receiver ever finish, amazing top 5 since Tyreek Hill days, right? Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill. Outside of that, we don't really see Chiefs receivers putting up these types of numbers because they're either, running into car accidents or, whatever they're doing out there. So it's overpriced. However, the talent, I get it. I get it with the talent and a full year in front of him, but this is too much.
Yeah,
Justin Jefferson after him? Come on now. I know we're
yeah.
doing that because of the quarterback situation, and Justin Jefferson is number 8. What's your take on Rasheed before we go back there?
I really love him. I love having on my team for the last couple of years in different spots, but I can't pay this.
No.
I mean, I love the 10 targets. I love how Mahomes utilizes him and can Andy Reid in this offense, but
What
this is
round did
too
you get him in
much.
last year? What round did you get him in
It was
last
like
year?
the 10th round. But
Yeah, I
he did have
mean,
this the suspension and some uncertainty there.
sure. I'll
So
take the suspension and round 10 as opposed to round 2 or 3 and a full season. I would much rather
exactly,
have what you had.
exactly. And then the guy behind him, Justin Jefferson. I think this is the year I'd rather have Justin Jefferson, and I might be buying some Justin Jefferson on the dip this year. Still an elite receiver, not that old. Like, sure, quarterback again, and I don't really believe in Kyler, but I still think JJ here will have a better year.
You believe in JJ over Kyler Murray in this quarterback room?
I'm not sure yet.
Okay, well, I can tell you we are going to be at arms with that
I'm
one
not
because
sure
Kyler
yet.
Murray will be the leading quarterback just because of his rushing upside. And we saw McCarthy. I mean, we saw McCarthy last year. There is not much flash to that guy right now.
I think either, but I do think he will be improved. And I think whether it's him or Kyler, I think it will be better for Justin Jefferson this year. Still harder to pull the trigger with these quarterbacks than, if it was a better quarterback. But at this point, last year when he was like top 3 or 4, it was easier to fade. But at 8, I might take some shots here.
Let me double down on this one more time and think about this value play. I can see Kyler Murray extending some plays more than normal and just chucking it to Justin Jefferson.
Can he still do that?
And the Vikings aren't that great. They're going to be playing from behind. They're going to need him to play Superman, run around, and just say, you know what, throw it to Justin Jefferson. Let's just see what he's got. I think that's going to happen. I think that's going to work because Justin Jefferson is amazing. So I think at 8 here, there is some value with that. And as long as Kyler Murray can, watch a little bit of film and put down the Xbox controller, he should be okay.
I mean, I think it's got to get better for Justin Jefferson. So I'm fine saying that. I'm fine with this ranking. Coming in number 9, Malik Neighbors off the ACL tear. This is a phenomenal player here at number 9. If we're going just like right athleticism, raw talent. You have a new head coach and you have some limited time under the quarterback, Jackson Dart.
Yeah, I
What's your take?
am. I love this player, love this team. This team is going to be amazing. They're going to have some playoff pushes and run soon, but not yet. This is 1 year too early for me. Why? Because Jackson Dart has thrown Malik Neighbors a total of 3 passes in the NFL. So they are not going
Yeah.
to be elite coming out week 1. It's going to take them some time. Both phenomenal players. I'm waiting a year on Malik at this price. A little lower, 14, 15. Sure, I'll scoop it up all day.
Yeah, if I find him slacking somewhere in a draft, maybe. Otherwise, it
Yep.
seems a little steep. But this is a young, very talented guy that I would like to get some shares of. I think it could be a slower start, but I think they could figure it out middle of the season together. And then
Yep.
you do open up a lot of targets. Wandell Robinson has been sent off,
Yeah.
so there's a lot of targets for him to be had in this offense.
Yep. The next three are interesting, Kyle. These are all kind of our guys in totally different ways. The first one being the heavily controversial Garrett Wilson. Every year I'm like, sell him. The quarterback situation sucks. The team sucks. But then he falls to me in the draft. And I usually scoop up a share of him. And let me tell you, I regretted it again last year. And this was due to
Yeah.
his health. He was injured all year. There's questions at quarterback situation here. Put all that aside. Is he a top 10 wide receiver based off his talent? Yes. You factor in team quarterback situation? F no. And
I
that's just the
100%
bottom
agree.
line.
I
That
love
is
the player as a top 10 receiver, but I haven't seen enough with the Jets with Geno Smith to want to buy him as the 10th receiver in
mm-hmm,
fantasy.
mm-hmm.
So, granted, I do think he could have finished there. Absolutely. But I would
Yep.
probably fade it. And I own a share of him in Dynasty already. He is a young player,
And
around
you won't even
25
you won't
years
even
old.
trade me him. You won't even trade me him, you hole.
Yeah, not your garbage trades that you try and propose me. Next up, you're higher on this guy, 11. Chris Olave with the Saints. You're higher on this guy than I am. He helped you
Well,
win a championship last year. Speak to him.
last year, this guy was left for dead. He had issues, concussions. There was a question mark at quarterback position, and I got him in double-digit rounds, and he finished as a top 10 wide receiver.
He
That
finished
is
as
what helps you
receiver
win.
6.
That is what helps you win championships. This year, this is now priced in accordingly. You got to look at, there might have some other counterpart on this team that they might be drafting. I know they're looking at like Mekhi Lemon or something like that. So be careful who they draft so that all those targets, aren't dissipated. But if they don't have a huge replacement for him, he's going to get all the targets again. So Chris Olave, love him. Little priced high here. It's no longer a value, but nonetheless, he's going to do it.
Yeah, it's no longer a deep value, but I actually think this is fairly priced for finishing as wide receiver 6 last year. I just still am not bullish enough on the Saints offense yet to be
Showed you
very
good enough.
excited about. I would rather have the next guy on the list, number 12, Nico Collins. I was a lot higher on him last year. He did disappoint a little bit. He still finished top 10 receiver, wide receiver 8 with a bad offensive line and with some quarterback struggles. So this is a guy I'm very bullish on again at wide receiver 12, and I'll scoop some of this.
He is a wide receiver one. There is no questioning that. Watching the Houston Texans offense over the last 2 years, I want minimal to no part of it. If there was one piece of it to have, it is this guy. And that is just about it. One other wide receiver on that team, maybe. Outside of that, that's about it out there in Houston right now.
Yeah, I mean, he's 27 years old, and this is just like a physical, like he's just such a great receiver. He is an elite talent. He's got great size, great speed, great hands. If they get the quarterback and the offensive line a little better, like you'll see more results from him, in my opinion. And he still finished top 10 last year, and he's projected outside of that right now. So this is big value to me.
Yeah, fair enough. Add a piece to the offensive line, and I'll agree with you. Without adding a piece there, though, it is tough to watch.
Next up, 13, A.J. Brown. For a lot of us last year, it was a drama show. And he still finished pretty well. You just had to leave him in your lineup and pray, basically. Finished at wide receiver 11. They got him at 13. I think this is a fair price. I think I'm just going to probably lean a little bit away unless, again, I get him as a deep value, which is what happened last year. And that's fine. He's still going to put up points. He's still going to be in this range, I think, no matter what. But it may be a little painful, and then there's some drama associated with it.
A little painful is one way to put it. The A.J. Brown controversy is ridiculous, and I'm selling all day on this. I'm not touching him, period, unless he's sitting there after 20 wide receivers have gone off the board. Why? Well, because they don't force him the ball enough. They don't give him that wide receiver tier 1 status until he complains about it for 8 weeks.
Everybody says that, but Hurts he had a lot of targets. There was a stretch he was getting 10 targets every single week.
After the first 8 weeks of the season, yes. However, we have another new offensive coordinator for this team. This team has yet to figure out how to throw the football in the NFL with Jalen Hurts. They have yet to figure it out, and I am not betting they're going to figure it out this year.
Week 3, 10 targets. Week 4, 9 targets. Week 5, 8 targets. Week 6, 9 targets.
What was his
Week
points?
7, 6, 3, 11, 10, 12, 13. Like,
that's not good. That's not good.
It's still averaging around 10 targets a game.
Yeah, I know, but when there's zero production to go along with it, because Jalen Hurts can sometimes miss his wide receivers by 5 yards per target.
Yeah, I know they have some issues, but still an elite player, in my opinion, and it's more the drama show to me, but he still put up points. He still finished as 11.
Let me squash this argument for you. The receivers going after him, I would take the next 1, 2, skip 1, 3. All right, I would take 3 of the next 4, and those are being George Pickens, Dallas, Tedrod McMillan, Carolina, skip Zay Flowers. I ain't taking him over him, and Devontae Adams. Those are 4. 3 or 4 receivers I would take over A.J. Brown that are behind him. What's your take on that?
I think George Pickens is the only one that I would consider. Otherwise, I would
It's a,
take AJ Brown above those other
well,
ones.
George Pickens isn't a consideration. It's a guarantee. Every draft in the NFL should have George Pickens go before A.J. Brown. That's a
Yeah,
fact.
and I love George Pickens, and I think this is a very fair price for him. I got him as a steal last year. He finished as wide receiver 5. The only problem I had is, of course, he got some extra points when CD was out, but
Yep.
also he killed me in the championship, in the playoffs, I believe. He struggled toward the end of the season.
He
So good
did.
all year. Then he struggled at the end when I needed him the most.
And it was some
So,
effort issues too. It was some
yeah,
effort and personality
it
issues, and what
was
happened with this guy.
exactly,
And that is
exactly.
something you did not want to see. But the fact that they brought him back, clearly they're willing to bet on him one more year to hopefully not see that happen again.
Yeah, I mean they franchise tagged him, so they didn't make it sweet for him, but he's got to
They
work for it another year, which may be better for his fantasy production. We'll see. I'm basically fine with this price, and this is going to be like a draft roster construction if I get him or not. I'm not like heavily targeting him like I did last year. I think it's just priced in now.
Okay. Okay. Tedera McMillan. This is a fun one. This is one that could easily be a top 10 wide receiver, reigning NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year. He's got the size, he's got the speed, he's got the hands. However, there is one issue. Last year, 56% catch rate. Yes, that's on him. Yes, it's on the quarterback. Yes, it's on route running. That's on a lot of things, but that's a terrible ass rate. Okay, so you're paying a premium. That number needs to go up to 70 or 80% this year. And if it does, he will be a very good value here.
Yeah, I mean, he finished as wide receiver last year, 16. They got him at 15. They're basically just pricing in a slight step forward here. And I'm fine with that. It really doesn't excite me because I don't think he's going to be a top 10 guy in this Carolina offense. But if I need a receiver 1 and I see him at the right price at the right time, I'm fine with him on my team. I'm just not excited about it.
You don't think there's any route he takes a leap forward and not just a small step?
I mean, he certainly could. And with his age, there is a lot of probabilities on his side that he does take a leap forward, right? But
We just
how much do you believe in this offense, the quarterback, and all of those things to do
well,
that?
let me answer that actually. Offensive line, I
I'm a
believe
little
in it.
mixed.
I
That's a
believe in
good
the
offensive
offensive line.
line.
I believe in
Bryce
the
Young.
quarterback more and more every year. Do I fully believe him? No, but I believe in him more and more every year. Yes, I do. This guy was a rookie last year and was like top 15 in snaps, routes, targets among NFL wide receivers. He's going to have a leap forward to his year 2 campaign, and I see value here because of that.
Okay, well that's fine. I just can't. I'm not going to take him over Georgia P. I'm not going to take him over
Yep.
AJ Brown, and I'm not going to take him over Nico Collins. So he's
Okay.
priced
Yeah.
where he's priced, and
Minus AJ
if I
Brown.
fall on some of him, sure. The next guy up, you don't like number 16, Zay Flowers. I love, and I should have been more pounding the table on this last year against you because you're so. I'll never own a Baltimore receiver ever.
Correct.
But for fantasy purpose, he finished as wide receiver 7 in PPR, and him and Lamar are boys. So I am very bullish Flowers this year for PPR, and I will be targeting more of him this year.
Did Zay Flowers surprise last year? Yes, he did. Did he outperform last year? Yes, he did. But let me explain my philosophy on the Baltimore Ravens real quickly. One, 2 people in the backfield run the football, both Lamar Jackson and the running back. They do a ton of read option, ton more run plays. They also love 2 tight end sets to run the ball
And
and to
did they
throw
ship
to
off one of those
and to
tight
throw
ends?
to the tight
They
ends.
did.
Yeah, but they're gonna have another one in there. They still like the 2 tight end sets so they can run
Different
their
head
powers
coach.
and their read
You don't
options
know
with it.
that.
Okay, well, I don't think they're going to go too far off of what was working for the last 5 years. They were one of the best offenses in the NFL the last 5 years, so they don't
We're
need to
not going to
change
know
everything
until
here.
we break down this team like we do.
Okay,
Until then, we're just speculating.
they still, well, of course, that's all we're doing anyway. They still have Lamar, and they still got Henry. So that is my philosophy as to why. So it's not like I'm just hating on Baltimore receivers, even though I do. There's a reason for it. Anything else you want to say to that before we move on to a legendary diva?
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to pick on some Flowers this year and draft him. I think still PPR machine, and him and Lamar are boys. I'd like to look. We'll do our research about the team, the coaching change, and all those
Yeah,
things. But I think there's going to be more targets to come his way. The only concern I have for him is a bit of a health. He's a smaller guy. He has had a few injuries, so staying healthy is just something on my mind.
sure. All right, number 17. Not too often do you hear of a goal line wide receiver, but that's exactly what Devontae Adams has turned into for the Los Angeles Rams. 27 end zone targets, which was 9 more than any other player in the NFL last year. They literally just say throw him a jump ball every time, and the teams cannot stop it because they still got to worry about Puka. And if they worry about both of them, well, then they just hand it off to Kyron. But last year, they just threw it every time. And when they did not have Devontae Adams, they struggled to put that ball in the end zone. And he is 33 freaking years old and still doing it. What a guy.
Love the player, don't love the age. I think you'll see a similar version of this in this year, but a little less. And so to me,
Can you clarify?
very, very high on him for standard scoring. PPR, I'm going to fade him just because it's still Puka's show. They got a lot of weapons with the running backs. The tight ends are involved. Stafford is another year older. So may they be fine and may he repeat this? It's possible. I just am not going to put a lot of stock into it. But in standard formats, I would be more excited to draft him just because I still think he'll be a red zone threat for a great offense.
Yeah, we can agree. Is there any way he puts up as many touchdowns as he did last year? I mean, is there any? I think it was
Of
like
course
17,
there is.
18.
I'm not gonna. I can't put any faith in that, but of course
Yeah.
there is.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Next up, controversial number 18, Scary Terry. This is very interesting to me. More so Jaden Daniels. I think we did the quarterback ones, and I think Jaden Daniels was like 3 or 4, wasn't he? It's like he wasn't even that high after his breakout rookie year. And after a sophomore slump and dump, they pump him up even higher. I can't make heads or tails of that. So Scary Terry had some holdout stuff last year and then came in. And this offense just stunk it up. So I know I'm not going to be buying a lot of this because I don't like it. You perform, and then I'll draft you. That's kind of how I look at it, especially inside the top 20, and especially as divas, just because I think divas are always deeper. I'd rather take some value shots on players I like a little better than a guy whining, holding out for a contract to then not perform.
Yeah, Scary Terry's personality, he is not like that either. He is not that type of person. He's been on this team through thick and thin, through some of their bad years. He wanted to get paid. However, that was a mistake completely by the Commanders. He did nothing this year. He showed his age by having injury. And I'll tell you what you do with him. If you had him in Dynasty, you do what I did, which was just sold him last year. That's what I did. I sold him off because I feared that this Commanders offense struggled. He is now 30 years old, getting paid way too much money to not even be out there, out on Scary Terry, I'm afraid, until, to your point, until he produces again.
Number 19, T. Higgins, a little higher on this guy. This is him and Georgie P. are the two, Devonta Adams. Those are the three diva twos and high throwing, scoring offenses that have upside at the position. You know what? Why don't you take your pick, your take on this guy? I am going to look up because I don't know. I have him in Dynasty. And how old is he? He is 27 years old, so I'm still fine with this. In redraft, I love this. I like this pick and finished as 15 last year, and they got him at 19 right now. And Joe Burrow missed some time last year, so yes, I'm in.
Echo that even further. I would take him over Scary Terry. I would take him over Zay Flowers. I would take him over A.J. Brown. Those are 3 or 4 receivers that are going in front of him that I would easily take T. Higgins over.
Yeah, I think anybody can make a case for moving him up 5 spots higher easily.
Yep. Especially with getting a full Joe Burrow back. That is, I mean, they're just, seconds away from all of a sudden 30, 40 points a game from all those guys.
Yeah. So I'd like to draft some T. Higgins this year. Number 20, Jalen Waddle. New team, headed to Denver. He still did, even though it was painful, he still didn't do too bad last year. This guy's got wheels. The Penguin finished as 24 in Miami. So 20 in Denver. I think is a better offense, better quarterback, better offensive line, great head coach. So it's kind of priced in, and I'm okay with this. I don't mind this. What's your thought?
I love this for Jalen Waddle, the player. This is not the most passing offense in the world. This team will stick to the run. This team will run the football. There is now targets that need to be split between him and Sutton. And I honestly, just with Sutton's camaraderie with the quarterback, and Jalen Waddle's not. Jalen Waddle is probably a faster, better receiver, yes. But Cortland Sutton being 6 slots down from him when he has the most experience, he is the true number 1 on that team right now. It's interesting to me. It's obviously they see more upside with Waddle here, but I think there's more consistency and more safeness in going with Sutton at 26.
Yeah, that's so funny. Cortland Sutton is just a guy who is deep. He's just left for dead every single year. He's always lower. Last year, Dave took him 1 pick ahead of me in Dynasty or Big Tuna. That was so annoying. But Cortland Sutton finished last year as wide receiver 13, folks.
They are doing him
So
dirty.
the ESPN is doing him dirty, and that might be the biggest rankings issue that we see so far here. Waddle over Sutton, but I still like Waddle. It's just kind of a splashy, sexy move.
Who's putting up more?
21,
Gun to your head. Who's putting up more points this year, Waddle or Sutton? What do
I'm
you
still
think?
going to say Sutton.
Are you?
I think maybe a second year, Waddle could be a little bit better in that offense, a little time with Bo Nix, but Sutton's
Sure.
already done that, and he's still the true one. So I like Sutton.
Okay. I like that. I like that thought. 21.
Ladd, do we see a bounce from Ladd McConkey?
Lord knows I'm praying for one as a dynasty owner. Last year was painful as F. Let me tell you why we're going to get one. Huge. Got way too much everything the first half of last year. Ladd McConkey was left for dead. Keenan Allen came in there as well and swallowed up a lot of consistent veteran targets. Keenan Allen is finally gone. I don't know if he's retired or where the hell he is, but he's finally gone. So thank God McConkey can come back into the picture.
He'll be back somewhere.
I swear to God, week 3, they're bringing him back.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, I think McConkey has a bounce here. Is he top 10? No. PPR, he does have a little bit more value than standard. I like him more on that 15 spot for Mr. Ladd.
21, and he was finished as wide receiver 30 last year. I mean, obviously he was projected a lot higher last year. So they got him right in the middle, basically how he finished and kind of how he was projected last year. I'm fine with this. I don't know that I'm going to be drafting a lot of it, but I'm fine with it. I would actually probably be drafting more Huge just because he's so discounted.
Yeah, that's a fair point. However, I think the back end of last year, he fell off a cliff and just went and disappeared.
He did. But where you draft him, that's probably okay. 22, Devontae Smith. This is a tough guy to draft just with the coordinator and a lot of the same issues that A.J. Brown has, just less of the drama. He did finish as wide receiver 20 last year. And, despite all the noise, he always seems to finish around wide receiver 20 every single year. So he's kind of a value guy where you need a wide receiver piece for production as a 20, right? 20th ranked wide receiver. I'm fine with it. I just don't think there's any more upside for him, really.
Yeah, nope, I do like me some Smitty. I know I talk crap about the Eagles team and the offense and all that crap, but nonetheless, I do like me some Smitty. In the last 5 seasons, he has never finished worse than top 30 in points per game. Okay. So that's consistency. But to your exact point, he's not going to have those games where he's putting up 30 points a game. He's going to have some consistency because he's an easier target for Jalen Hurts to find in an offense that struggles to get the ball to the receivers, quite frankly. But
yeah, so if you're looking for just a little bit of consistency at a value, like I don't mind it, but he's definitely limited on the upside.
Yeah,
the next guy I'm more higher about, 23, Emeka Egbuka. I would rather have this for the exact thing, the upside, right?
This one literally blows my mind. There is no more Mike Evans in Tampa Bay. He is gone. Emeka Egbuka is clearly the best receiver on this team. Chris Godwin, his counterpart, will for sure get injured. Don't wish it on him. It's just the facts that we have to go off of history. He's going to get injured.
Emeka Egbuka stands for injury prone.
Baker, whether he struggled last year or not, he did. I don't care. The dude still chucks. The dude still can chuck. And he had a wonderful development of relationship with Emeka Egbuka. This is a serious value. This is a steal right here. He will, and just because of his name, he's going to go way in front of this 23 here. It's not even, in every draft, he's going to go way in front of this number, and I just know it.
Yeah. And next up, 24 and 25, I think this is hilarious. DK Metcalf and Michael Pittman, both of the Steelers receivers. They did the exact same thing with the running backs.
ESPN
31 and 32 with Warren and whoever they just acquired, Rico Dowdle.
ESPN looked at each other. They said, well, what do you think on these guys? I said, I don't know. Let's just put them next to each other. So that way we're not wrong.
Yeah. So DK, I had some DK last year, mixed results. That team actually I had him on did pretty well. Michael Pittman, I'm going to find myself owning less because they're both there, and we don't know the quarterback yet. And even if it's Rodgers, I still am probably just going to own less.
Yeah, I mean, when I look at these two receivers, I think if you need a crappy wide receiver 2 or a flex play, they could be that. However, if there is no Aaron Rodgers on this team and they are led by a Mason Rudolph, you can send these rankings down another 10 to 20 points because ain't nobody wanting to deal with that.
It's over for you if that happens.
So I don't know what they're going to do, but they need to re-sign Aaron to make these guys have some value. Without that, kiss them goodbye.
Next up, Cortland Sutton, who I would much rather have than these other guys at 26. We've already talked to him. Number 27, Jamison Williams. Adam, thoughts on Jamison Williams at 27?
I like it a lot. You know
He
I do.
finished as wide receiver 12 last year. So
Standard leagues, you
this is a
guys.
huge value. Him and Cortland Sutton are the biggest values right now.
Standard leagues with Jameson Williams, you can put him up 5 to 10 spots. PPR, you can put him down 5 to 10 spots because the dude only has like 50 or 60 catches every year, still gets 1,000 yards, still has a bunch of touchdowns. Absolute speed demon. We saw him around get injured a little bit last year. There was some serious potential in this cat. They need to get him the ball more, and that's on the Lions.
Yeah. I think this is a big value. Number 28, DJ Moore. New team sent over to Buffalo Bills with Josh Allen, where we haven't seen a great receiver really since our man was there.
Yeah. Good old guy who's in New England.
Mm-hmm. What's your takes on this?
So when I first saw this, I loved this and got excited like a kid on Christmas and giddy. And then I thought about it into what you just kind of mentioned there. Josh Allen doesn't have a true number one and has not done that since his first couple years in the NFL. He throws it. Thank you. Yeah, we were both struggling like a bunch of idiots. That's hilarious. He spreads the ball to everybody. Running backs, tight ends, wide receivers, every game. He throws it to like 7 to 9 people. Shakir kind of was his every down target a little bit this year. DJ Moore's now a year older. The fact that
29. He's 29
the fact
years old.
that Ben Johnson says, you know what, I'm good with my 2 new young kids in here. See you later. DJ Moore has me a little bit shaking my head on that because I don't know why they didn't want to use him. I like this, but I don't love it. I think this is honestly fairly priced, maybe a couple spots ahead. So I'm not overreacting to this one.
Yeah, I think so too. I think if there's a world where like I need a depth piece and he is there at a decent price, I'll take a stab or two, but I'm not also really excited about this. Yep. I'd actually rather have the next guy, Romo Dunes, number 29 with the Chicago Bears. I think he has a little bit of a jump forward this year in this offense, this head coach. So I'd rather have some shares of that. And then number 30, Marvin Harrison Jr. Do you see a bounce for Marvin Harrison Jr.?
Well, since he's at 30 here, yeah. So I see a little bit better than where this ranking is. That's a tough one, right? But I like that Brissett's throwing to him a little bit more for some reason. I just kind of like that. And this guy's got every possible talent and thing created for him, ready to go. It's just they haven't done it. You know what I mean? They haven't just done it consistently enough for it to make sense, and that's why he's here at 30. He's finished 41st and 39 with wide receivers. That is not good.
Yeah, he missed like 6 weeks or something last year as well. Yeah. I'm actually fine with Marvin Harrison here, and I'm maybe if he stays at this price, I might start to get a little excited about this because I really believe in this player, this talent, and I now like the guy who's actually throwing him the ball. So if they can connect and if he can improve and stay healthy, I think you could see a really good outperformance here.
I like it. That's 30. Want to wrap it there? Do another 30 later?
I think that's all we're going to have time for today. We made it through 30. We'll have to come back with another 30 on the next one.
Sneak peek, 31's Luther Burden out of Chicago. But that's it, folks. I think that was a good quick rundown over there.
Yeah. Should we talk about a few guys we did not mention?
There's one I want to talk about.
I did not hear Mike Evans. I did not hear any Green Bay receiver.
That is correct.
I did not hear Brian Thomas Jr.
You didn't hear a Packers receiver. You didn't hear a Jaguars receiver. You didn't hear a Patriots receiver. You didn't hear a Titans receiver. But Brian,
Colts, we didn't hear a Colts receiver.
Oh, you're right. Brian Thomas, you guys, they put him at 42. Are you effing kidding me right now? 42? I'm not even going to say that's just absurd. That was in front of him, Rondell Robinson, Romeo Doubs, freshly on the Patriots, Calvin Ridley in Tennessee, Parker Washington. They got a Jaguar in front of him. This is a joke, man.
All right, folks. Thanks for doing the Fantasy Block channel. We'll catch you guys in the next one.